We live. Alright. I won't give a couple seconds, but hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Give a couple seconds to just get prepared. Hold on. Let me slide on over, get closer. Get closer.
We got IG right there.
Hey, IG.
What's up, y'all? What's going on Instagram?
Hello, Facebook. It is another Wise Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and start because we're doing something a little different this time. We are going to put the IG Live on IGTV. So because of that, we have to stick to 15 minutes. So we're going to get this thing popping, get it cracking. Thank you for joining us for another awesome Wise Wednesday. As promised, I have gotten a credit repair expert to come out and talk to you guys. His following is also looking as well. So I'll be talking to his following about home ownership and preparedness because this month is about preparedness for home ownership. So a lot of you guys are first-time homeowners. Are going to be being first-time homeowners. So I'm giving 2 tips about that. I'll be talking to you guys about that in a second. We're going to go over credit repair and some tactics to get your credit correct, and this guy is the one to help. So I'm going to, first of all, introduce Marvin Evans, and I'm going to let him continue to introduce himself and tell you guys about how he can help you guys towards your journey for generational wealth.
All right, y'all. What's going on? What's up, Instagram? What's up, Facebook? What's up, Facebook? All right, you guys. So basically, like Charlene said, credit consultant out of here, DC-based specialist. And listen, it's 2020, y'all. So it's time to get down to work. It's the new year, the new month, obviously new decade, fresh start. We are 3 weeks in to 2020. So let's work. This thing is huge. It's over 70 million people out here right now with a credit score, with a FICO score less than 700. So we want to fix that. The goal and the mission is to help the community, help change the community, put people into homes for the first time, put people into new homes, investment properties, all that good stuff. We want to change the narrative. There's a huge gap out here, obviously, between demographics, and we want to help to bridge that gap. That is the goal here. So I'm ready to work. So there are obviously the things out there, there's guidelines, and there's protocol and everything that we'll go through. Obviously, if you're interested, hit me up, DM me, text me. We can get you going. Just a few stats, like I said, approximately 70 million people who are under 700 right now. 40 million people out here, guys, in these streets have errors on their credit reports and don't even know it yet. So there are things out there that can be removed through the disputing process. And disputing is just the beginning of the process. It's more than that. So that's the initial part of the process. Then we kind of dig a little deeper. We dig a little deeper and we go further. But 4 out of 5 credit reports out here, guys, have errors and have things on them that can be removed. So you got to get started. That's the main thing. You got to get started first. Let's see what else. So 2020, new year, new me. Everybody put up their New Year's resolutions and all that good stuff. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Listen, it's not going to happen and it's not going to change unless you get up and do something about it, right? So you got to get started. That's imperative. Got to get started.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Brian? You got to get started. You got to get going. That's the main thing first. Mind over matter, you guys. You got to put your foot down. You got to make up in your mind up here up top that you are ready to go. And let's do this. Let's do this. Because my goal is obviously is to help you meet your goals. Our goal is to help you meet your goals. So, yes, let's do this. Let's see what else. Before we do that, I'll go back and give it to you. I'm gonna give it back to Charlene, let her go into a little bit of home ownership, and then we'll pick back up on credit.
Okay, so what I feel like was most important and why I wanted Marvin to come on was because I spoke last week about homeowner preparedness, home ownership preparedness. Hey guys, I'm gonna talk to you guys about this a little bit, and how having your credit together and really being prepared with savings, with savings, with a realistic stance of what you need to have for your credit and what you need to have saved up for down payments, for closing costs, for all the other incidentals that are going to happen on your move into first home ownership. So I'll just reiterate a little bit what I said about that. And I feel like the reason that one of the main reasons why I really wanted Marvin to come on was because having your credit having knowledge of your credit, first of all, is key. Because a lot of people say, oh, I have a 750 or I have 800, and then they still can't get qualified for a loan because It may have good credit, but they have their debt to income ratio is horrible. Or they may have some undisputed problems or undisputed, accounts that you don't even know about that are open and just make it look horrible on your credit. And you're thinking, oh, you see your number and you're like, well, I can get a loan for whatever. And you can't even get a Gucci bag. Do they even give that on credit? I don't even know. But
speaking of Brian, y'all give Gucci bags on credit?
Y'all give Gucci bags on credit.
And Brian works for Gucci. Right?
I mean, maybe you have a credit card and then you can't even get a credit card because you got too many accounts.
No, y'all give Gucci bags on that one, right? On payment plans, right? That's give more credit on payment plans.
So I think that was the most important thing to me, to have him on so he can explain to you why it is so important to attack those negative reports on your credit, and to really have an idea of what is going on, of your financial health and your financial situation. And with FES, with the Credit Repair Service, what it also does is it gets you prepared for after your home ownership. It gets you prepared for the steps to get your family really ready for your tenure in generational wealth. Because once you make that money, you got to figure out how to maintain it. You got to figure out how to protect it. You got to figure out how to make it work for you.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on top of that, it's the way this program is set up, guys, or my program is set up, is that we want to start with credit repair, but we're not going to end with credit repair. So that's the beginning basis. And obviously you going from a 500 credit score to a 750 credit score that's the real glow up right there. That's the real glow up. So once you get there, you become more susceptible to fraud. You become more susceptible to identity theft. So there are things and measures that we want to put in place so that way you're able to protect your legacy and your finances.
Most definitely.
So with that being said, basically, with the process right now, tax season is coming up, so I definitely want to touch base on that. W-2s are getting ready to be released, well, currently now, 3rd week of January. And you're going to be able to file soon. So basically, with that being said, a lot of you guys go out and you might be planning on using your tax return and your refund to get that car and put a down payment on that vehicle, or put that down payment on maybe your home, which is great. But there are things that you can do prior to help you save your money. We have to be mindful that having a great credit score that's above a 700, the goal is to help you keep your cash in your pocket, so that way you're not having to put down a down payment, you're not having to pay those deposits, etc. Right? So you want to be able to leverage your credit in place of your cash. So the great thing about it is that we want to be able to invest that money into your collection accounts, into your charge-off accounts, so that way that will help you to actually raise your status as well. And then you're able to save that cash on the back end. So there's always, the prerequisite obviously to going out and getting that car, they might ask you for $3,000 or $4,000 down, because you might walk up to the lot with a 550. But if you've got that 700 or that 750, you might not have to put anything down, or they might only ask for 1,000 down. So the point of having great credit, guys, is to be able to leverage your credit, so that way you can keep your cash in your pocket. Interest rates are real, and that is extra money that you are paying out to the financer for borrowing money in the first place. So interest rates are real, and you want that to be as low as possible. So keep that in mind. Tax returns coming out, you want to be able to invest that money in credit repair first before going out and getting that vehicle.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Does it make sense to you? I mean, that makes sense to me.
It makes sense to me too.
It makes sense, right? Okay.
If it makes sense, it makes money. All right. What else? So taxes. You want to take it back up?
I was going to piggyback off of what you said about interest rates, and some of the things when I talked about homeowner preparedness, about having your down payments saved up, having your closing costs saved up, having your expenses saved up for any incidentals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the higher your credit score, the better interest rate you get.
Correct.
And the better interest rate you get, a lot of the times, the less money you have to put down.
Exactly.
The better programs you can get.
Exactly.
And
you might not have to put anything down, because you pull up with a 750, they might not ask you for a dime.
So imagine you get your credit to a good standing, but yet you saved up $15,000 to $20,000, thinking you would have to use that for closing costs, you would have to use that for down payment. Then you just have that $20,000 sitting there because you haven't had to use it yet. I've had clients that have gone to the table and gotten money back. And I didn't even have to put down a dime, had to get money back, because they had themselves to a standing, and they started off with a credit service to get themselves into good standing and into a better credit score, a better program, and they've been able to not only achieve home ownership, but also have some money to do something with the house and then walk into equity as well. So that's another thing that I think is really important about getting your credit together. Yes, you can have you can have lower credit scores than 700 and get a home. You can. Mm-hmm. There are lenders out here who will, it's not a problem. You can find a home. You might not, it may be a smaller home. It may be, you may have a higher interest rate. Mm-hmm. You may have higher payments. You may have to have a higher down payment, mm-hmm. but you can get a home with a low credit score. But why?
Right.
When it can only takes you a couple of months to get yourself together, as far as getting the
program, guys. The program is about a 6-month program, and that's just depending on where you are, what your current status is. It's a 6-month turnaround. Some of you guys have been living with poor credit for 4 or 5
half
years.
For half your life.
Right.
Let's be real.
Right.
Those who are out of college for half your life.
Let's be all the way real. Right. 4 or 5 plus years.
We got student loans.
Exactly. So don't tell me that you can't wait 6 months or invest 6 months time into bettering your future.
If you're going to be here for 6 months, you might as well do it.
It's an investment for 6 months. It's a sacrifice of 6 months for years to come. For your future. And it's saving. It's keeping money in your pocket. We have to we got to cut the excuses. And we got to focus on the goals and what we're trying to move to. We want to do all this great stuff, and we can we say all this great stuff, but when it comes down to putting that pen to paper,
actually doing it,
doing it, like what's going on? Like, come on. So 6 months time, guys, is approximately the program. Not a long time. And so let's do this. Only thing else I want to touch on is just in terms of like your goals. Like we got to, again, like I just said, we got to be in that. You got to be focused. That one track mind, know where you're going, what you're working toward. You got to drop the excuses and you got to come on. Let's move forward. So
my water went down the wrong pipe. Almost died right then. I felt it go down the wrong pipe too. My bad, y'all.
Don't die.
All right.
So we gotta focus, y'all. Like we gotta be ready to work. And the untimely demise of the legend, the GOAT, Mr. Kobe Bryant.
And every other passenger on that, that was a horrible tragedy. And I haven't even really touched on it. But I know everybody's rocked by it. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I can say that I've seen from out of our community and from out of just the world, this man touched the world. And I've seen a lot of people be inspired by his life.
Definitely.
That's one thing I can say is that, no, I'm not a bandwagoner, and I'm not, going to say, oh, it's made a total and complete difference. But it has made me wake up and say, you know what, tomorrow's not promised.
Exactly.
And I'm holding my family tighter, and I'm telling the people that I love them.
Exactly.
And I'm not letting arguments start, and I'm, living my life to the fullest. And I'm making sure that every morning, and I say this to y'all, you get my my storylines, and if you guys tune into my stories and my posts, you'll see me talk all the time about how I talk to myself in the morning, because when I say I don't be wanting to wake up, I want to sleep. I'm a Leo. I'm lazy. I like to lay in the bed. But I often ask myself, do you want to be fulfilled today? Asking myself that one question is not good enough. It's, do you want to be fulfilled, period? Because today is one thing, but yes, tomorrow's not promised. But we're all kind of figuring we'll be here the next day and the next day. How about living your life so that you can get yourself prepared to be here the next day and the next day, and that you can have that generational wealth. So that's why it's so important. I'm going to make sure that on these lives, you have Marvin's information so you can get in contact with him. The easiest way to get yourself started with this is to schedule an appointment. I'm going to make sure that you guys have my information as well, because that's the easiest way to get yourself started on home ownership, is to schedule an appointment.
Yep.
If you don't feel comfortable scheduling an appointment, you think, oh, I'm not ready, I don't want to waste anybody's time.
Just take the time out to get the information. That's all. You don't have to do anything. Right? You'd be surprised what you would learn through a 10 or 15-minute consultation, and the knowledge that'll help you from that quick conversation will help set you up for to help you better plan and make better moves going forward. That 15-minute conversation could change everything, and a couple light bulbs could click. You know what I'm saying?
We'll call it a conversation instead of an appointment, because appointment sounds so intimidating.
Right.
Schedule a conversation.
Right.
Call that for a conversation. Although it has to be at a certain time on a certain day, it's just a conversation.
Exactly. We're just sharing information.
And being honest, we have this conversation with many folk. We're on 1434, so we're gonna be wrapping up soon. But we have this conversation with many folks. So don't think that you're the only one with problems. Don't think that you're the only one or you have some type of, yes, every situation is unique, but we're here to help.
Exactly.
So just know we are here to help.
Exactly. So like I said, rest in peace, rest in heaven, rest in power to Kobe. Let's Tomorrow's not promised. We got to act now, guys. Stop acting like you have all the time in the world. You got these goals for 2020. You want to make things happen. You got to put the action. You got to put your foot down. Let's do it. Let's work. We'll post our information so you can reach out to us in terms of credit, in terms of home ownership, and let's just talk, guys, and have a conversation. That's it. Share information and get you where you need to be.
Thank you guys for joining in. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to reach out. We're always here to help. Always here to answer questions. So good luck on your journeys to generational wealth. Love you all.
All right. See y'all later.
Be loved, safe, and beautiful. Bye, guys.
See you later. Bye-bye.
All right.
And it actually might be
and
it's still going.
yeah, it's still going. I always do this.